Grand Rising, all kings and queens, all gods and goddesses, all beautiful people. I am Be Floss to God. Now, this morning, I want to talk about depression and being awakened, right? Depression and being awakened, right? And the reason why I mostly want to touch this topic is because I made a post yesterday on Facebook, right? Which said, if you are truly awakened, right, then your dominant state should not be that of depression, sadness, or anger, right? Because we're basically moving through states, right? We're spiritual beings having a human experience, just moving through states, right? And those states are there for us to occupy. We can occupy them at any time, right? We have a choice, right? We can choose which state we want to occupy, right? So that's what the post was basically saying, right? That if you're truly awakened, then your most dominant state should not be that of depression, sadness, or anger, right? We're just moving through states, and the states are there for us to occupy. We can choose. We have a choice. We can get to choose which state we want to occupy, whether sadness, depression, anger, poverty, riches, wealth, happiness, joy, peace, bliss. All those are different states. And we're spiritual beings having a human experience, just passing through states. And if you are awakened, then you know that. And one or two people, I guess they had an issue with that post, right? Probably thought that it was judgmental. Um, One person was saying that they disagree with it because on your way to ascension, those are things that you go through, right? And I don't think that person is very good with English, right? Because I don't think they actually read the post properly. I did not say on your way to ascension. I said when you are awakened. That means you're already there. You're not on your way there. You're already there, right? Because on your way to the ascension, to your awakening, yes, you go through depression and sadness and anger and stuff like that, because I've been there too. Even when you're awakened, you're still in the human form. You still tend to go through like anger, and you may still have a little sense of depression and what's not. But if you are awakened now, if you're truly awakened, well then you don't have to dwell in that state. You can experience it for a while, but you don't have to dwell in it. There's 7 days in a week, right? And if out of those 7 days, those 6 days, you are depressed at the fullest, and that is your most dominant state, and that you're dwelling in, and one day you're happy, well then how can you be awakened? How can you be awakened and depression and sadness and anger are your most dominant state? That's impossible. I know there's nothing impossible, but that's impossible. How can you be awakened, but yet your most dominant state is depression and sadness and anger? Can somebody please explain that to me? If you have a good explanation for that, you can leave it in the comments. Because the key word there in my post was dominant, right? If you are awakened, then your dominant state, dominant, right? I guess if they knew what the word dominant meant, they wouldn't be quick to reply to that, disagreeing with that post, because that is facts. I guess they just wanted to see what they wanted to see, because dominant means the most important, the most influential, the most powerful, right? And if they're saying that I'm wrong, well, I guess then everybody in the world is awakened then, because I've been there too. On your way to ascension, right? Yes, you go through means of depression and anger and stuff, and what's not due to it. Could be a loss of a family member. It could be past trauma incidents that you've been through or whatever. Majority of us, right, who are awakened now, who are truly awakened now, we've been through that process. We've been through those states. And I'm not saying not, yes, we've been through that, which led to the awakening now, which caused us to reflect and to go within, to help ourselves evolve and to be the best version of ourselves. But if you are awakened and you're truly in the 5D, how can your most dominant state be depression and what's not? That's why in these times right now, 2021, well, starting from last year to now, with this so-called pandemic, this is a test now to see who is really truly awakened. Because everybody's spiritual, everybody's awakened, right? But in times like these, now we're gonna see. And as a truly awakened person, you don't seek anything on the outside. You don't seek anything on the outside, for answers, or see anything on the outside to make you feel better. In terms of drugs and alcohol and what's not, and I'm not knocking those things, right? Because I'm not saying that you can't drink your alcohol and probably smoke a little weed or whatever. You know what I mean? But I mean, if you're looking for those things, right, to make you feel better, right, then you're not awakened. You shouldn't be looking for anything on the outside to make you feel better. You are the drug. You are the drug. You are the problem, and you are also the solution. Recently, I'm not gonna lie, I did smoke a little weed and stuff. I used to smoke weed and stuff too. But at that time when I was smoking it hard, right? I was doing it in terms of seeking for the weed to comfort me, to make me feel better. But since I had my awakening, I did take a couple puffs, here and there. You know what I mean? But I don't allow it to control me. I'm not looking for it to make me feel no type of way. I just did it because I felt to. I wasn't doing it because I was depressed or anything like that. You know what I mean? I could smoke a spliff right now. I don't smoke for the next month. You know what I mean? I can stop and start if I want to. But back then I was doing it because I wanted, I wanted it. I was using it to make me feel better within, rather than actually going within and doing the work and doing the inner work. Right? And again, I'm not knocking alcohol or weed or anything like that, because each to his own. I'm just saying, if you're truly awakened, you know what I mean. You don't look on the outside for anything, to make you feel better, right? And because you're awakened, it doesn't mean that you can't do those things. You can't smoke, or you can't drink. You know what I mean? Because some people just do it for the fun of it. I'm saying, no, you don't look for it, to make you feel better, right? So that is my thoughts on depression and being awakened, not on your way to being awakened. You're already awakened, so your dominant state should never be sadness or depression or anger. Not if you're truly awakened. And I'm not saying um, because you are awakened that you're not going to feel some type of depression or anger or anything like that. Because I had my times like that too, where at points where I felt a little depression, I felt anger. You know what I mean? And it even happened recently in terms of like anger and getting a bit frustrated. But that doesn't mean that you dwell into that state. Because if you're awakened, you can catch yourself and you can shift. You can shift back into the state of bliss and peace. Because that is my most dominant state, bliss and peace. You know what I mean? I hardly I hardly put myself into the state of anger or depression or anything like that. Because as I said, it's a choice. It's a choice if you want to dwell there into that state. So again, there's no way you can be awakened and your most dominant state is sadness, anger, and depression. No way. Because if you're truly awakened, you will know that we are spiritual beings having a human experience, just moving through states. And all those states are there for us to occupy. And we have a choice. So how can you be awakened and be depressed almost every single day? I don't know. Somebody explain that to me, please, because I don't get it. And yet some of these people that would probably disagree with the post are supposed to be so-called Nevillians, Neville Goddard's fans. So I just don't get that. I don't get that one. That's why, I stress on the point of like reading and not applying what you read, or watching motivational videos, or listening to motivational lectures and stuff like that, and not applying what it is, the information that you're taking in. Because if you're a true Neville Goddard fan, you don't even have to be a true Neville Goddard fan, but if you are awakened and you know about the awakening, right, and you're actually in the 5D, how can you be? How can depression and sadness and stuff like that be your most dominant state? Yes, you're going to experience them at times, but they should never be your dominant state. Dominant meaning the state that you dwell in, for the most part, the state that is more powerful that you are experiencing. There's no way. So you can feel free to leave your comments, and share your thoughts on this, because this isn't even debatable. You know what I mean? It's not debatable. As an awakened person, your most dominant state should never be sadness or depression or anger. As a truly awakened person, your most dominant state should be bliss and peace. Even if a day comes and you feel depressed for that whole day, or anger, and it shouldn't even be the whole day, right? Because once you're aware, like, depression does not feel good. You know what I mean? So if you're truly awakened, you know that you can snap out of that, tell yourself a different story, and put yourself, into a state of bliss and peace. Well, then that means if you claim to be awakened, right? That means there's no difference between you and a person that's still third dimensional and know nothing about this, and experiencing depression and stuff as well. You're still in the same boat as them then, and it's not being judgmental. It's just facts. Hence the word awakened. And the key word it placed there was dominant. I didn't say if you are truly awakened, right? Then you shouldn't experience sadness or depression, or anything like that. I said that they shouldn't be your most dominant state. So I guess some people read and just they just see what they want to see. Either that, or the English is not too good, and that's not being judgmental. It's just facts. So I just wanted to share this message. All right. I am Be Floss to God, sending you love, peace, joy, prosperity, and blessings. And do have a blessed day. All right. And just remember, we have a choice. We're just spiritual beings having a human experience, moving through different states. If you're experiencing a state that you do not like, you have a choice. You can switch. You don't have to dwell in it. All right. Peace and love.